Let's get ready to story!
Okay, we'll do it like the first time we did this. I'm going to read 3 words at random from their bio. Here we go. The first reader is a lovely man by the name of Matthew S. Hinton. Former. Dreams. Wilkes-Barre. Matt Hinton, everybody. Matt Hinton.
Wilkes-Barre is one word in Scranton, isn't it? That's terrible. Thank you so much for having me. I'm going to tell you a story tonight about probably one of the worst moments in my life. I'm not sure what the worst moment about this story is. Perhaps the fact that it is a proposal for marriage. But that's not the worst part of the story. The worst part of the story is that it was at JFK International Airport, and I was there 4 hours early for a person who was going to be away for 2 weeks, and she had just come back, and I got there 4 hours early, and I walked in, and this is a post-9/11 world, but I came in with a bag with a bottle of champagne, a teddy bear that probably could have had plastic in it, and a ring that would have set the whole thing off. But I got through security just fine. I went in through the outdoors somehow. Nobody checked me. No, I got all the way to the terminal. And that's not the worst part of the story, though. The worst part of the story might be that I got to the booth where a couple of very nice ladies around midnight at US Air are trying to bide their time, waiting for lost luggage reports and all that jazz. And I walk into there and I tell them my story. I'm here for a marriage proposal. And they, an audible gasp right away. And I start to tell them about this woman that I've been seeing for the past few years. She's just been in Belize for 2 weeks, scuba diving, very romantic. I sound like a globe-trotter, you know. She's a little older than me, right? Some of you know it, all right. Hi, Mom. I talked to these girls. Turns out the flight's late for another 2 hours. So I'm there 6 hours before she lands. Nervous, paranoid. I get a free drink at the bar. I'm very happy though. And she gets off the plane finally, and this might be the worst part of the story. I'm not quite sure. She gets off the plane, and I'm standing in the booth, and I see her through the glass of this booth. And I had a poem that I had written. I memorized it. You want to hear it? Yeah. Great. You're going to hear it anyway. I get down on one knee, and they have this this microphone, and when you tag it on, it goes boom, boom, and the music stops, and you get to say what you need to say. So I grab it.
Hello everyone, and I just want to say, you're there kind of like this, and I think that there's a little just so light. I love you so much. I love you so much.
It sounds like that. That's exactly what it sounded like. I don't, you know, so she's standing there, she's made her way to me by the time I finish the poem. I'm burbling, you know, just kind of like, I'm pathetic, snot's coming out of my nose. I've got this heirloom ring that I'm holding out. Right? It came from my grandmother, passed to my mother. She lost it. That's another game-changing story. And I'm trying to jam it onto her finger, right? I'm going, oh, please say yes. Please, I'm muttering it. I don't know if I'm saying it out loud, but I'm pretty sure I am. Please say yes. Please say yes. Right? What would you do? She looks at me right in the eye and she says, we need to talk about this. Right? That's a bullshit answer. It's a yes or no question. If it's no, ladies and guys, we're living in the 21st century. If it's no, say no. There's nothing wrong with that. I'd be like, all right, and gotten up. Instead, it's we need to talk about this. And these girls who've been waiting with these young women who've been waiting with me for 6 hours, you know, they're like, oh. And we walk out, and I've got the ring, and I close the box, and I shove it into my pocket, and I walk away. And that's not the worst part. The worst part is I'm lugging her luggage through the terminal, right? And everyone in the terminal had heard this. And on the way out, they're going, congratulations, oh, congratulations. They haven't heard the answer, so I'm just trying not to make eye contact. I'm like, all right, thank you very much. We get into the car. So the worst part is not in the airport, we're on the ride home. And we're having this argument about what love means and marriage and all this happy bullshit. We've been talking about it before. It's not like it's a new subject. I thought I was in the right. I thought it was going to happen. She's like, you don't love me anymore? I'm like, no, don't you? An hour ago, I was asking you to marry me. Isn't that like the ultimate act of this is what I want? And we drive by this billboard. And I'll never remember what it says, but the image is burned into my frontal lobe. It is a left hand. And the arm and the forearm is broken, and there's clearly a wedding ring on it. And I'm paraphrasing, but it basically said, get married, break both your arms. It's basically the same thing. And I'm like, wow, so's the rejection, right? We get back, and that's not the worst part. The worst part is we have to stay at her mom's that night in New Jersey. So there's like two bad parts to that. And she's spouting Fox News propaganda into my ear all night, so there's three bad parts to that. In New Jersey with her mom and Fox News. And that's not the worst part of this story. If you can imagine that. You know, the worst part of this story might be that she got off the plane and I looked at her in the eyes through the glass of the booth and I knew that she had been away on the other side of the world for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, yo. That's a long fucking time. You'd think she'd be a different person. But I looked at her and I knew she hadn't changed at all. She had not grown. She went there. She made, other than her skin pigment, she got a little bit of a tan, right? But she didn't change. She was the same person. And I had changed. I realized, wow, I'm in the same place. And she came back and I realized, this woman has taught me the meaning of lies. Right? That's the thing you say to yourself when you're so jilted and it's unrequited. Oh, 6 minutes. And I say, okay, you know, the ultimate lie, the penultimate is the lie you tell yourself. And that's why this was a moment in my life that had changed everything. It was like she cut the last tether to my innocence and it flew up into this sky of cynicism, this balloon of my last vestige of hope and love and dreams and happiness. At least that's what I thought, you know. That's what I thought at the time. We're talking like 16-year age gap between us. I told you she was older. But you know, really, when you think about it, that sort of self-realization, that's not the worst part of the story, right? That's not. That's a good thing. I grew out of it. I grew because of it. It might be the worst part might be that, you know, we didn't break up until 2 months later. That's kind of bad, that sucks, right? But that's not the worst part. The worst part of the story is that the woman in question was Janet Raines of cover band M80 fame. Anybody know that band? Yeah! And that's the worst part of my story.